So here's what just happened. Caitlin Clark has officially been named one of Forbes' 25 most powerful women in sports, and the WNBA, especially Angel Reese, is not taking it well. Forbes placed Clark at number 4 overall, higher than Serena Williams, Coco Gauff, Nelly Korda, and even Simone Biles. Let that sink in. She's the highest-ranked athlete on the list, and guess who's missing entirely? Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark is number 4 on the 2025 Forbes Most Powerful Women in Sports list. She is the highest-ranked athlete on the list. The highest-ranked athlete on the list. Clark has, in the last 2 years, been the spark that lit the match that set women's sports on fire. You can practically hear the envy crackling through the league. This isn't just another ranking. This is a power shift. For 2 seasons, players like Reese have been rolling their eyes, calling Caitlin overrated. Now, that same player just leapfrogged global icons on a Forbes list that measures influence, not just popularity. And that's what really burns. Because deep down, they know Caitlin isn't just a player anymore. She's the brand keeping their paychecks relevant. Here's where it gets interesting. Angel Reese isn't happy at all, and even denies that Clark deserves it. And we're revealing Reese's hilarious reaction to Clark's latest award. Forbes didn't sugarcoat it either. They declared her the face of a new era in women's sports. Think about that. The face. Not one of, not among. The face. Millions in endorsements, record-breaking TV ratings, ticket websites crashing under fan demand. She's redefining what power looks like in modern sports. And yet, some players still pretend she's just another WNBA star. Let's be serious. Forbes doesn't rank just another athlete above Serena Williams and Simone Biles. That's not just about stats, although she has them too. That's about influence. The only women above her are billion-dollar executives and team owners. Caitlin Clark isn't just raising the bar. She is the bar. And how did the WNBA respond? With the same silence that screams jealousy louder than any words could. Not a single congratulatory post from the league, not one retweet from team accounts, except the Indiana Fever, of course. You know why? Because everyone else knows Forbes got it right. Caitlin Clark is the reason some arenas had fans again. She sold out games in markets that used to echo. She filled stadiums that hadn't seen full seats in years. And instead of celebrating her, other players are throwing shade, tweeting about how everyone brings value. Sure, but only one of you brought millions of new viewers. That's a completely different level of value. And Forbes didn't just put her on the list. They detailed why. They wrote that Clark turned her record-breaking college career into early dominance in the pros. Translation: she's doing in one season what others don't do in a decade. They highlighted her brand deals. Nike, Wilson, Gatorade, all top-tier partners, all doubling down on the Caitlin Clark effect. Let's not kid ourselves. Those brands don't throw millions at mediocrity. They invest in cultural forces. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, who spent months downplaying Caitlin's influence, is now watching her rival become the face of global women's sports. You can imagine the frustration. While Caitlin's photo is featured in Forbes magazine, Reese is back online liking posts about media bias and overhyped stars. The irony writes itself. Caitlin didn't ask for the spotlight. She earned it. The funniest part, Forbes ranked her 4th. The 3 names above her are billionaires, and right beneath them, Caitlin Clark, not even 24 years old, running women's basketball like a business empire. That's not a flex. That's a revolution. Meanwhile, Angel Reese and a few of her peers are tweeting cryptic nonsense like, the media crowns who they want. Yeah, they do. They crown the one who sells out your stadiums. See, the truth hurts. Caitlin Clark has crossed over into mainstream celebrity status. She doesn't need the league to validate her anymore. She's doing charity golf events, national interviews, talk show appearances, and every time she shows up the WNBA logo follows her. That's what burns the most for players like Angel Reese. Caitlin doesn't need the WNBA to make her famous. The WNBA needs Caitlin to survive. And here's the truth, her success actually helps everyone else. When Forbes writes about Caitlin, the WNBA gets mentioned. When her games sell out, ticket sales spike for everyone. When her jersey breaks records, the league's merchandise sales rise across the board. She's lifting everyone, and still getting side-eyed for it. That's not rivalry, that's resentment. Let's talk facts. Record attendance, Caitlyn. Record viewership, Caitlyn. The highest merchandise sales in league history, Caitlyn again. One season, that's all it took. Now Forbes officially confirms what we already knew. She's not just an athlete, she's a cultural shift. And that's what Angel Reese can't stand. Because while Caitlyn's breaking records, she's breaking barriers. Forbes didn't honor her for her stats alone. They honored her for power. The kind of power that changes how leagues operate, how fans engage, and how brands invest. Meanwhile, Angel's online tweeting memes and cryptic comments instead of congratulating the one person who's expanding opportunities for everyone. Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlyn Clark is when she's on the basketball floor. Plain and simple, the timing couldn't be more ironic. The WNBA is deep in CBA negotiations, players demanding higher pay, better revenue shares, and greater recognition. And the woman proving their worth to advertisers and TV networks just got ranked among the world's most powerful women. Caitlyn Clark isn't the problem. She's the proof of concept. And yet, while Forbes celebrates her, the silence inside the WNBA is deafening. That's how you know this hit deep. Because envy never claps, it scrolls. You can bet Angel and others saw the headline. They just didn't have the grace to acknowledge it. Instead, we get the same recycled talking points about unity and equality, while ignoring the one player who actually made equality profitable. Let's be honest. Caitlyn Clark doesn't owe the league anything. She's made the Indiana Fever, one of the smallest markets in sports, a national phenomenon. She's filled arenas coast to coast. She's getting kids watching women's basketball again. That's legacy-level impact, and she's just in year one. So when Forbes names her one of the 25 most powerful women in sports, they're not exaggerating. They're acknowledging reality. She's doing what no commissioner, PR campaign, or slogan ever could, turning women's basketball into a global conversation. Remember when Caitlyn Clark shattered viewership records? Silence. When she sold out arenas across the country, back to back? Silence again. And now that she's been officially named one of the 25 most powerful women in sports, the quiet is deafening. You'd think the league would be celebrating her success, but nope, just crickets. Here's the thing. Forbes didn't base this on hype or popularity. They looked at hard numbers, real influence, measurable economic power, brand value, and media reach. Caitlyn checked every box with ease. She's not just playing basketball, she's running a multi-million-dollar empire before even turning 24. She's got Nike pushing her signature shoe, Wilson building her custom basketball line, and Gatorade handing her the spotlight normally reserved for male superstars. Meanwhile, the rest of the league, including Angel Reese, is still tweeting about equal pay, while begging the commissioner for raises. The contrast is painful. Let's be honest. This Forbes recognition exposed the truth fans have been shouting for months. The WNBA doesn't have a marketing problem. It has a jealousy problem. Instead of leveraging Caitlyn's global stardom, the league and players like Reese treat her like a threat. They could be celebrating her success as a win for everyone, but instead, they act defensive, trying to control the narrative that's already beyond their grasp. Because you can't manage Caitlyn Clark. She is the narrative. She's the reason ESPN started moving WNBA games into prime time. She's the reason Fever jerseys are selling out nationwide. She's the reason kids who never watched women's basketball are suddenly glued to the screen. Angel Reese, there's nothing that she does where you go, did you see her? Other than she plays really, really hard, and I liken her game to Moses Malone. Moses Malone was relentless, so it's not that I don't appreciate who she is, or how she plays. There is no one like Caitlyn Clark. In the history of the WNBA, and Forbes spelled it out clearly, Clark's impact goes beyond the court. They wrote that her success signals a shift in how female athletes are valued. That's not fluff. That's a cultural shift in motion. She's forcing brands, networks, and even sports executives to rethink how they treat women's sports. Yet, what's Angel Reese doing? Throwing shade. You'll find subtle digs on social media, vague posts about other powerful women who don't get media attention. Sure, but none of them are filling 18,000-seat arenas on a random Tuesday night. The jealousy isn't subtle anymore. It's seeping through every tweet. And people forget. This kind of spotlight comes with insane pressure. Caitlin isn't just trying to win basketball games, she's carrying the entire league's reputation on her shoulders. Every word, every expression gets dissected. When she's quiet, they call her ungrateful. When she celebrates, they call her cocky. She can't win in their eyes, but she's still winning where it counts. Now add a Forbes ranking into that mix, and the resentment's in full bloom. The same players preaching women supporting women are dead silent when one woman actually breaks the ceiling they all said was unbreakable. It's hilarious, really. The league cries about growing the game, but when someone finally does, they panic. Caitlin Clark is the growth. She's the walking solution to every marketing problem the WNBA's had for 20 years. She's doing what entire PR teams couldn't, selling out venues, creating rivalries, and making people care. Yet instead of studying her formula, others are too busy counting her endorsement checks. But here's the part that really stings. Forbes didn't just rank her. They crowned her a force that's reshaping the sports industry. They wrote that Caitlin Clark's presence has shifted how fans and brands view women's sports. Translation? She's not part of the system. She is the system. She's redefining what success looks like in women's athletics. Even NBA Commissioner Adam Silver hinted at it, saying, WNBA players will get more money this cycle, and they deserve it. Let's decode that. He's basically saying, thank Caitlin Clark. Her impact is driving the dollars that make those negotiations possible. And don't forget, this is the same league that barely acknowledged her after the draft. For weeks, they acted like she was just another athlete. Fast forward a year later, and her face is plastered on every WNBA promo. That's not coincidence, that's survival. Forbes ranking her above billionaires isn't hype, it's poetic justice. What's even crazier is how she's handled all of this. No drama, no diva attitude, no messy call-outs, just quiet dominance. That's what infuriates people like Angel Reese even more. Caitlin doesn't have to yell to be heard. The world listens anyway. While others chase attention through controversy, Caitlin earns it through consistency. She's rewriting history, one record, one headline, one endorsement at a time. That's why this Forbes honor isn't just a win for her. It's a blueprint for every future athlete who dreams of independence. She's proving you can have skill, market savvy, and humility all at once, and build an empire without the league's permission. She didn't wait for validation. She created it. And that's why envy burns so bright. Caitlin Clark didn't walk into the WNBA asking for a spotlight. She brought her own, and it's so bright it's blinding everyone who underestimated her. The truth is, the WNBA, and Angel Reese in particular, needs Caitlin far more than she needs them. She's the face fans rally around, the reason brands keep investing, and the one athlete who moves the needle every time she steps on the court. Fans love her because she's authentic. Sponsors love her because she delivers. Media loves her because every story about her turns into numbers. That's the kind of trifecta that defines power, the kind even Forbes couldn't ignore. So, when Forbes named her one of the 25 most powerful women in the world, it wasn't just a headline. It was a wake-up call. A message to every player still pretending she's overhyped. A reminder to every executive who once doubted her star power. And a reality check to Angel Reese, who's still throwing social media shade while Caitlin's out here changing the game. Caitlin Clark isn't just on Forbes' list, she's the list. She's redefining influence, rewriting the playbook for what women's sports can be, and proving that real power doesn't need approval. It commands attention. Love her or hate her, Caitlin's dominance is now official. And the WNBA, they can keep pretending to ignore her. But every silent scroll, every bitter tweet, every jealous glance just proves one thing.